it's going to be much more beneficial for you to plant what the household eat. And sometimes in hard situation, the household will have to adapt. Hey everyone, I'm Country Marro. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about what is a true survival garden or a true survival urban homestead. We're keeping it in the city and the suburbs. We're not talking about the people out in the country area with the land and like-minded people around them. A true survival garden or homestead is not what you see I have here or any other gardener on the internet that is in an urban setting. That is not a true survival homestead or garden. It is a mild survival homestead or garden, meaning when things really happen in an urban setting, the city is always the first place to get hit. The city is where you don't find much people doing gardening or even people looking out for each other on a homestead or gardening basis. So let's not fool ourselves. For us doing these urban homestead or urban gardening, it is a means of survival. However, it is a mild means of survival. So this what we're doing here is not what preppers talk about when you hear they talk about SHTF. That's shit hits the fan. This won't be practical in a SHTF situation. This is only practical in a mild situation, whereas in the grocery stores, maybe the shelves go dormant for a year or so, then you can survive this way. But if it's going to be a prolonged situation, this won't help in the city. So I'm not here to tell you guys that this, what we're doing here, won't work any at all. What I'm simply trying to say is, this is not the end all, be all situation for survival. This is just for, as I said, a mild situation, and I'm gonna dig deeper into it. So stick around and hear me out. So when we talk about survival, and a lot of people hear us talking about survival, they think about eating a three-course meal or having breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. But true survival goes way deeper than that. I'm talking about worldwide disruption, shortage of food for a prolonged period of time, not just a few months. I'm looking into that type of survival when there is nothing and you have to dig deep. To have a survival garden, think about what grows best and is most productive in your unique location. Garden is not like people. You don't just call your garden a survival garden and it becomes a survival garden. It has to reflect your area, what you eat, and how fast those things will turn over for you to have them to eat. Talking about survival food and survival garden, I'm going to harvest a few eggplants too. And how to know when to harvest your eggplants: whenever the skin is shiny and smooth and you can give it a press like with the thumb and it just bounce back. That's when you know that your eggplant is ready to be harvested. So I know a lot of gardeners will plant these and don't know when they are ready. You also can look at the pack, but even when you look at the pack and it tells you whether it be 60 to 70 days, that doesn't always help you. So just wait, watch it. Whenever it's shiny and smooth and you can press down and you get that bounce back from it, then you know your eggplant is ready to be harvested. Here we are with the harvest, guys, I wasn't expecting such a large harvest, but I'm just gonna wash these things off and show you guys what we got while I was talking to you guys. So these are some collards, collard greens. I've grown to like them a bit, not love them, but these days I'm eating them. These are some mustard, and we're gonna have some burger this evening, so I'm gonna grind those up and make a little pickle. And here we have the eggplant. I think we got 3 of them, but I'm just washing the dirt off them before I take them in the house. We had a bit of rain about 3 days ago, and it splashed a lot of dirt on these veggies, so you don't want to take them in the house with all those dirt on them. These are the pak choy. Well, I've been harvesting pak choy for the past maybe 3 or 4 weeks now, on like a weekly basis or twice a week sometimes. So they're not doing bad in my garden. I have some of these cute little baby bok choy. There are some miniature bok choy, and they're very delicious. I'm not sure if I'm going to plant them back next season or for the spring, because they're just too tiny for me. These are some lettuces. I'm gonna add these to the burger later on. I'm just gonna show you guys the harvest as soon as I'm done washing. Still getting cucumbers. So if you're looking for a survival type garden or homestead, look for things that grows best in your area and has a fast return. In a survival situation, you don't have the time to wait on certain things to really mature, maybe a year, 2 year, or a seasonal crop most of the time. Even though there's this tricky thing, because growing up, they always say that jackfruit is the food that can solve world hunger. Everything on the jackfruit is edible, basically. Just like how they said that sweet potatoes can solve world hunger, because you can eat the root area, which is the food, and you can also eat the leaf. But for jackfruit take a while to mature, or even so, I don't have a rhyme or a reason to believe that jackfruit is a survival fruit or a survival food. That's just my opinion, that's just my thought on it, because jackfruit won't be turning over as much as your veggies that are coming in every 30 to 60 days or every 90 days. These things keep turning, they keep spinning. So I would rather to have these in a survival scenario than to have a jackfruit or to have 10 jackfruit plant in my backyard. So let's just wash these up, and then we can sit and talk about homestead and backyard survival. Today wasn't a planned harvesting day, but I was just going through and wanted to get rid of some of these things out of these beds and grow bags also. It's kind of stuck in the garden right now, so I have to be getting rid of things to plant other seedling that I have, so that those can come up over the winter time and early spring. So this is what we're looking like here. We got another cabbage, big one here. Oh, these are loafers or loafers. Don't know how some people pronounce it. I pronounce it loafer. With these vegetables that I have here, and talking about survival, plane is passing overhead. Let me just wait again. When talking about survival, it's all about what you can grow in your location as fast as possible. So it's a fast burst. We want as much food as fast as possible. We're really not thinking about the nutrients at first. We're just thinking about getting food into the body. Firstly, we have rabbits on the homestead, which can back up a lot of this greenery that you're seeing here. Even the eggplant, these things can be fried. You can turn these things in many ways. Corn is another good thing. I don't grow corn in the backyard, not because I can't, but because we don't eat corn that much. But if push should come to shove, I would grow corn in my backyard because it's a very good staple. But for these, most of these, I would recommend these vegetable, these quick crop type for survival food. Normally you hear people tell you about perennial as survival food, but perennial don't give you that fast turnover most of the time like these would, and also the variety like these would. I don't plant peas and beans because right now in the current situation that we're in, it is cheaper for me to go to the store and buy a 50-pound bag of peas and put that away in maybe a Mylar bag, put it in a 5-gallon or whatever container it can fit, and tuck that away in my pantry. That can be there for up to 20 years. So instead of focusing on planting beans and peas on my homestead, I plant perishable crop, things that are more seasonal and accessible to me in my backyard. Beans, I can go to the store and I can get them very cheap and pack my pantry with those. For the urban homesteaders, my advice would, you can stay away from peas and beans if you want them dried, that is. If you're looking for them for storage, buy them in the stores now, because the situation that we're in now, we're not in a crisis or anything, and peas and beans are very cheap. So buy them, pack them away, have those in storage for years to come. Then you will have more use for your land space or tiny land space that we use up as small backyard gardeners. For the larger homesteaders, beans would be just perfect for you guys. You guys can go ahead and you can plant your beans because you have the space. But when we're talking about survival, we have to factor in space. How much space do you have? Do you have enough space to grow bananas? Do we have enough space to grow a jackfruit tree? Do we have enough space for sugarcane? You have to look at things that can turn over fast on a daily or weekly basis for the family to eat. So it's not about content creation for me, it's about practicality. I really want to be as practical as possible to you guys. Hence, I can't come up with a video every single day, or else the channel is just going to become a rum talk channel where I'm giving out information that is not accurate. I try to do video 2 days a week, and now I'm doing a few morning thought of the day because that makes more sense to keep the channel going. But for practical and critical things, I try to stay away from every day on the internet just posting. If you're really thinking about a survival garden, try to think about the things that you can grow easy and that will be readily available to you and your family in a short period. Saying all of that, if these are the things that you and your family eat, it is good to go ahead and plant it. Suppose you and your family doesn't eat cabbages, leave them out. It's going to be much more beneficial for you to plant what the household eat. And sometimes in hard situation, the household will have to adapt. If you guys are not allergic to cabbages, you just don't like it, when it comes down to real survival, plant it. We'll have to eat it. So as long as there's not an allergy pertaining to that particular crop that you're going to be planting, go ahead, plant them in your garden. Try them from now so that you have an idea of how to grow these crops. So collards, last season I vowed that I won't be planting any more collard because it's just not a part of my culture. Someone reached out to me and gave me a few recipes, and since I've went on the internet and found some more recipes, and we're now enjoying collards. So the old saying that says belief kill and belief cure, it is so true when it comes to the world of gardening and the internet. Even something like rabbits, you will hear people say that in a survival situation, rabbits won't be useful for a long period of time because they don't have enough fat on their bodies for us, because we need fat to sustain a healthy lifestyle. However, we're talking about a survival situation, and then a lot of people who are singing those songs are in hot climate like I am. You have people who are vegetarian and they don't eat meat and they're still living. So what is it if we have hard times and you're living off your rabbit and your veggies from your garden? You will survive. So don't follow these noisemakers that you hear a lot of the time. It is just to create content and to create fear and doubt in people. Those are the things that sells most in the world. In a real survival situation, any plant that is edible and is not poisonous to you is a survival plant. At that point, it becomes a survival food for you because you can eat this thing on a regular basis. You would have passed over those foods, but in a survival situation, you wouldn't have much choice. So anything can be a survival plant, but we're talking about homesteaders, small homesteaders and gardeners. What is survival food and plant for us? And those are going to be quick crops, and I have a list here. So those are going to be things like your spinach, beetroot, kale, peas. I said peas, but for small homesteaders, I would advise you guys to get the dry peas and store them away. Just put them away. Those can last for years. So I wouldn't be planting peas unless I'm going to be planting peas to eat green, fresh peas. But for something to preserve, I would just go ahead and buy dry peas from the store or the markets. Next one, you're gonna have Irish potatoes and sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are king. You can eat the leaves and you can also eat the root, the food area. Those are good choices. You have carrots. Corn is king. Grain in any survival situation is going to be king. Squashes and pumpkins, those top the list also. You're going to need those if you're in a survival situation. Practice planting these things in your backyards and garden so you have a feel for these type of crops, how they grow, how they operate in your location, because these are true survival food for any gardener. Things that I wouldn't consider an immediate survival food for a backyard gardener or a small homesteader is things like sugarcane, jackfruit, coconut, mangoes, oranges. I wouldn't consider those immediate survival food for a small homesteader or a backyard gardener. Those won't help you in a survival situation because those are going to become shaded trees, trees that give a lot of shade to the garden, and most of our garden crops need full sunlight or at least 6 hours of sunlight per day for us to get maximum results from them. And we know survival runs deeper than just the garden. It takes a whole lot more than that. If you're going to plant food and you're going to have food in hard times, you have to be able to protect that food. You have to be able to defend the homestead. You also have to be in a community with like-minded people, or else you're going to be overrun. So survival is tricky. I'm just keeping it to gardening right now. There's 1,000 more survival food that can be added to this list. I'm just going off a few from my phone. You can find many more. So what I'm saying here is not gospel for survival food. It all depends on your particular, your unique location and what you and your family eat. So you can go ahead, drop a few of your survival food down in the description, and we can also talk about them. As I said before, everything is survival food. So we're just taking it down to our level and identify survival food that will work best for us, the small gardener, the average person. So that's going to be it from Country Marro. God bless you all. See you in the next one. Cheers.